I have been obsessed with Kovacs and aim training. Dude, you gotta see my scores, bro. I'm actually like kind of fucking crazy in Kovacs, and then I get into CS and I can't frag. And I've been thinking about it. I recently saw, let me find the video. I recently saw Maddie OW. This video right here. God, he posts so many VODs. It was like the unlocking the secrets to MBM method, unraveling the secrets of aim. It's like a technique for aiming. And I also think Hayek's made a video about speed aiming versus smooth aiming. And I realized that there's actually different techniques to aiming. This is probably obvious to some, but there's different ways to aim, right? So let me just show you an example. Like you got like the Nico type of aim where it's like it's very precise, like very smooth, you know, like shit like that. And then you got like Mona C or like Zentara, so they're just like, fuck, I'm not warm at all right now, so excuse me. Fuck, dude. But there's different ways, there's different techniques. There's probably more than just this to aiming, but we can just run with these two. In that Hayek's video, I watched it like years ago, man. And I think he talked about how you should like choose one and just work on it. I'd argue that you should learn both because they're actually optimal for different situations within CS, which I don't think a lot of people talk about. Because I watch a lot of aim training videos, but they just talk about Kovacs. And Kovacs aim is not the same as CS aim. And I've seen West Proter tweet about this where it's like, you might have better Kovac scores than certain pro players in Valorant CS, but you won't play better than them. And there's actually truth to that because in Kovacs, the type of aim that you need to get high scores is different than the type of aim you need to kill people in Counter-Strike. You can have that smooth, perfect aim, right? But it's like in CS, you don't really get penalized, whatever, penalized. You don't get penalized for missing the first shot. I mean, you do if obviously they kill you, but you have a mag of 30 bullets. And that's what Maddie Overwatch talks about in the MBM method. So basically, you got two methods to aim. You got like the flick and then the micro adjust, which is like the smooth aim where it's like, you're just making sure you hit your shot, you know, which I would refer to as deagle aiming, right? You're making sure you hit that first shot. And then you have like, when you're on a USP and pistol round or a Glock, you have the type of aim where you just like, you like flick and then you like spam, right? You flick and spam. And like, if you have a Glock, like you don't want to be going like this when you aim. And like making sure you hit the first shot, like you have 20 bullets and you don't really, the accuracy doesn't really change when you spam. Like you should be abusing the mechanics within the game that you're playing. These mechanics don't exist within Kovacs, but they exist within Counter-Strike. They get a lesser score. There is no score in Counter-Strike. You just have to kill other person. So the MBM method is essentially you flick, you hard flick, and you shoot as soon as the flick lands. Like, right? Like you flick, and as soon as the flick lands, you shoot, and then you micro adjust and shoot again. So like the difference between the two, you got the smooth aim, which is you flick, and then you micro adjust, and then shoot. Flick, micro adjust, shoot, flick, micro adjust, shoot. Or you can do the MBM methods where you flick, shoot, and then micro adjust and shoot again, right? You have like more chances to like hit the target, right? Because you have the initial gamble. The initial flick and shot is a gamble that you're gonna hit the first target. You had to realize that there's different situations that benefit each aim technique over the other. I like kind of like sorted it out in my head. If you have a gun with a big mag that has like fast like accuracy recharges, you should be doing the MBM method. Obviously, if you're up close, you should not be doing MBM or smooth aiming. You should just spray. Like, just fucking spray the dude down, right? If you're medium distance, you shouldn't be doing MBM or, you know, smooth aiming. You should just fucking burst, right? You're close, spray, medium distance, burst. And then when you get far away, you should tap an MBM method, right? But if you have a deagle, right? You got a deagle. Where's the fucking deagle at? You should not be MBMing. You should not flick and insta shoot because you're penalized so hard with the deagle if you miss that first shot. You should be trying to like not miss that first shot. Like you should really try really hard to like make sure you're on that head before you shoot. The only time you should MBM method with the deagle where you insta flick is if you have a deagle with no armor because of aim punch. And what I realized when I've been like DMing and playing more, I've been doing more aim training with NCS, not just in Kovacs, is that like there's obviously, like I said, there's mechanics you can abuse. And if you have armor and a deagle, you can low-key just let someone start shooting you, bro. Just, right? You take the fight on them and you just wait till they stop to shoot. If they don't hit that first headshot, you can tank those bullets with the armor and really make sure you hit that first deagle shot. Like, I don't know if you guys ever been like one deagle, like if you played against a really good deagle player, like you'll see them peek you and you'll literally shoot before them and they'll like take their time and you'll be dead like before you can kill them. Cause like they're taking their time and they're like, they know they can tank the bullets with the Kevlar armor. A lot of people get this wrong too. You get penalized with the op if you miss the first shot. So you should never like, a lot of op flicks, you're not actually just insta flicking. You're not like always doing that. If you watch an opper slowly, A lot of times they're actually doing like a micro adjust. They flick and then micro adjust with the op. Like a lot of people, because they go so fast, so it doesn't look like they're micro adjusting, but because the op only has 5 bullets and it has a crazy reload time for the next bullet, like you should not miss that first shot. You should try hard to hit that first shot. So you should be doing smooth aiming. You flick and then micro adjust and then shoot. But for anything that has like big mag, you know, USP, Glock, you should flick and insta shoot. You should flick and insta shoot and then micro adjust and shoot again. You should be doing the MBM method. Like abuse the mechanics of the game, bro. Another example too that you should MBM no matter what gun you have. If you're like low HP, you got like 10 health, like you should not be taking your time to line up the shot. Like you have to hit that first shot or you're dead. But I think the thing that people struggle with is that they run with one technique. That's all they do is just that one technique. They're really good at smooth aiming or they're really good at fast aiming. And then they end up sucking with certain guns. Like I feel like I do pretty well with rifles, but then I suck with the deagle because I'm so used to just insta flick and bursting, which the deagle's not good for, bro. Like it's the deagle you have to take your time with and really line up that shot. And you just have to trust the armor to like tank the bullets for you. I'm fucking spitting, dude. I'm literally drooling. I got saliva coming out of my mouth while I'm talking about a video game, bro. I'm actually a fucking nerd right now. But yeah, that's what I realized. And obviously too, you got the movement involved that you don't get to train in Kovaaks. The recoil reset, you don't get to train that in Kovaaks. Like there's a lot of things that you don't get to train in Kovaaks that you should train within CS. And there's a lot of things that you do in Kovaaks that you actually shouldn't do in CS. Like always smooth aiming. You shouldn't always do that in CS. You should be doing MBM actually quite a bit of time. Like you should be insta flicking and shooting and then micro adjusting after. Smooth aiming, fast aiming. If you learn both, you're gonna have shit aim. That's not true, bro. It's not true. Just think about it. Like the way I see it, it's like, okay, I got a deagle, I got armor. Okay, we're not insta flicking. We're smooth aiming. It's just 2 different techniques. Bro, you really think your brain's only capable of learning one technique of aiming? Just know when to do each, right? If you don't master them both, then you're stuck with only one of them and you're only good with half the guns. The other thing too that doesn't get trained within Kovaaks is like committing. That's what I realized too, is like committing to a target. A lot of times like in Kovaaks, it's like common practice to like, if you miss, you just move on to the next target, you know? Right, you miss, you just move on to the next target because you gotta get that score. But like in game, bro, like that's like a really bad habit to have. I'll shoot, if I miss the first shot, then I'm fucked because I don't know how to adjust. And so it's like a pretty bad habit that you learn from Kovaaks of like not committing to targets. Because I was watching some clip of Monesi and he was like practicing before a warm up or something. And when he would flick, he would not flick off the targets till you hit them. Obviously, sometimes he would do it. He didn't hit the target like 3 or 4 shots, but like he was really good at like committing to whatever target he was fighting. Another thing too that doesn't get practiced within Kovaaks, I mean it's the same thing but with moving targets, is like there's tracking within CS, right? If you're obviously looking at a moving target, you're going to be tracking them for a bit, right? If you're in an actual scenario within Counter-Strike and you're fighting someone moving like that, let's put them to a higher speed. Like you're going to want to be spamming, bro. Like might as well, like you have 12 bullets, like take the shots. And what you don't usually end up doing in Kovaaks, because your score is spamming, like you have to be able to track the target and like stay on its head while clicking the mouse. Because a lot of times in Kovaaks, you're training at like tracking and you're usually holding down a key on your keyboard to like hit the shots. And so like you get good at tracking for like smooth aiming when you're not spamming. But like, bro, this is Counter-Strike. Like you should be abusing the fact you have a big mag and you should honestly spam. And if you're not used to spamming and tracking a target at the same time, like you're not gonna be good at it when you get into pistol rounds. Like this is something I've been training, is just like I like to call it like duct tape aim because it's like not proper or whatever, but it's like this is what you need when you play. Like just abuse, like if you're trying to go pro, you're trying to get good at Counter-Strike, abuse the mechanics within Counter-Strike. Don't abuse what you use in Kovaaks, abuse what you can within Counter-Strike, you know?